बिल्लाहि मिनश्शैतानिर्रजीम बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम. Dear friends, welcome to Idea Foundation Forum. Today in lecture 291, we will discuss Allah's Noor, light of Allah, driving force of the universe, driving force, as 34th issue under the Qur'an and modern sciences. Our topic subscribes to a great ayat 35 of Surah An-Nur. This ayat describes the Noor. What is Noor? Light, or driving force spirited by Allah in the man, the earth, and the universe to give them birth and sustenance, to make them sustainable. So, life and sustainability. It is to indicate the divinity working behind the divine order, sustaining and commanding the universe. Very important. It is the scent of life. What is scent of life? Noor, light, permeated throughout the universe, unifying each of its particles into one whole. Historically, it has been usual interpretation of the ayat. Historically. However, Allah has promised with the man to enhance his intellect, empowering him to see the great divine signs in his own self and in the universe, and appreciate the truth revealed in the Qur'an as mentioned in ayat 53 of Surah Fussilat, shown on the screen. In this context, we find important description in ayat 35 of Surah Nur, usually called verse of Nur, ayat-e-Nur, ayat of Nur, verse of Nur, which also provides advanced information on the discovery of quasars and gravitational lens, two very important discoveries of astrophysics. Like unity in diversity of the divine order, details of the discovery tells how gravitational lensing amplify the light and energy of a distant source, and despite its diversifying character, it manifests, it shows unity of its source. Besides that, the verse also raises a deep spiritual thirst, hunger in the man to seek consciousness of Allah's Noor. What is Allah's Noor? The apex of glory for which he was created with distinctive character. The man was created with distinctive character over and above the angels and jinns. Let us begin with the traditional explanation of ayat 35 of Surah An-Nur regarding Allah's Noor. My dear friends, verse 35 of Surah An-Nur calls for a focused attention to understand Allah's Noor, describing relation of the Creator with its creation, starting from a particle up to the universe, postulated through a parable put forward in the words. Let me recite the ayat. Allahu nuru samawati wal arz, masalu nurihi ka mishkatin fiha misbahul misbahu fi zujajati. الزجاجة كأنها كوكب دري يوقد من شجرة مباركة زيتونة لا شرقية ولا غربية يكاد زيتها يضيء ولو لم تمسسه نار نور على نور نور على نور يهدي الله لنوره من يشاء ويضرب الله الأمثال للناس والله بكل شيء عليم. Let me translate and focus on each and every word. I think this is the soul of the Qur'an. Allah is the light, Nur. What is light? Nur. Allah is the light of the heavens and the earth. The example of His light is like a niche, kamashkati, within which is a lamp, masbahun. The lamp is within a glass, zujajati. The glass as if it were a pearly white star, not only star, pearly white star, lit from the oil of a blessed olive tree, neither of the east nor of the west, whose oil would almost glow even if untouched by fire. Light upon light, layers of nur, layers of light. It's a mystic, has mystic background. Allah guides to His light whom He wills, and Allah presents examples for the people, and Allah is knowing of all things. The basic statement of the verse is Allahu nuru samawati wal ars. Allah is the light of the heaven and the earth. Allah is the spirit. Allah is the nur of the heaven and the earth. And rest of the verse is allegorical explanation of the divine affirmation. The relationship between Allah, the nur or light, and the universe has been one of the most discussed topics of the Qur'an. Minority view has been taking the light or nur as the intrinsic part of the divine existence of Allah, as the straight translation of Allahu nuru samawati wal ars suggests so. However, the majority view, popular view, initiated by the earlier scholars and interpreters of the Qur'an and Ahadith, describes the light or nur as the divine command or amr, spirited by Allah to bring a matter into existence and make it enlivened. It means to bring from the nothing to the universe. As noted from the Tafsir Ibn Kathir, Ali bin Abi Talha reported that Ibn Abbas meant the light of Allah, means what is light of Allah? As the guide of the inhabitants of the heavens and the earth. Ibn Jurayj reported that Mujahid and Ibn Abbas meant it as Allah is controlling their affairs and their stars and sun and earth and moon, everything by His nur. So this is Allah's nur, Allah's command, Allah's amr. As-Suddi viewed that by Allah's light the heavens and earth are illuminated. Imam Ghazali defines the nur means light as something which is bright and manifests on its own and makes other things bright and evident. Thus, the word Nur cannot be used for Allah in its literal or common meaning because He is free from physical body and materiality. Allah has no physical body or matter. Rather, it means that Allah bestows Nur to the earth and the heaven and to everything living therein to allow them take birth, to sustain. Allah's divinity is centered in every particle of the universe to let it happen and sustain. So, my dear friends, Allah has inspired each and every particle of the universe, including the man, with his nur or spirit described as his command or amr in several verses of the Qur'an. Some of them are shown on the screen. I may like to quote three of these verses here for the clarity of Allah's nur and its relation to the creation. Ayat 12 of Surah At-Tariq says, "It is Allah who has created 7 heavens and of the earth the like of them." It means there are some other earths also. His command, Amr or Nur, descends among them, so you may know that Allah is over all things competent and that Allah has encompassed all things in knowledge. It means Allah's Nur is the command, His will, that gives birth to every particle of the universe and establishes the divine order, bringing the whole universe into a perfect unitary system. Ayat 82 of Surah Yasin describes Allah's pervasive and instant command in the words, what is the translation? His command is only when He intends a thing that He says to it, be, and it is. So this is the Allah's command, Allah's nur. Allah's nur or spirit is defined in Ayat 85 of Surah Al-Isra in the words, "And they asked you," Allah says, "O Muhammad, they asked you," means other people asked you about the soul. Okay, what is soul? What is spirit? Say, tell them, the soul is of the affair of my Lord, Amre Rabbi, command of Allah, and mankind have not been given, of knowledge except a little, very small, knowledge about the soul. Amre Rabbi in the ayat means Allah's command or will executed, performed, to give materiality to an idea. So when Amre Rabbi comes, idea becomes the material, materiality to an idea. So Nur gives materiality to an idea and sustain it within the divine order, within the command of divine order. So my dear friends, let's go back to verse 35 of Surah An-Nur, which states the divine affirmation, Allahu nurus samawati wal ars. Allah is the light of the heavens and the earth, and describes the relationship between Allah, His nur, and impact on the creation with the help of a parable postulated by describing relation of a lamp, misbah, misbah, which is enclosed in a glass, zujaja, and placed in a niche, kamishkat. Sequencing of the three, misbah, zujaja, kamishka, sequencing of these three, phenomena, description of each of them and their interrelationship, all are of great significance. In the traditional explanation, a believer's heart, blessed with the consciousness of Allah, is likened to a lamp. I repeat it again. Note it. A believer's heart, blessed with the consciousness of Allah, is likened to a lamp capsuled in a glass, glittering like a jewel. Glittering of the jewel-like glass symbolizes the great impact of the Qur'an and Sharia, which further brightens the light of the heart already imbibed by the consciousness of Allah. For preservation of the blessed heart from any perversion, impurity, or deviation, it is kept in a pure and sacred environment symbolized with a niche, kamishka. As we know, niche is a placement on the wall. Placement on the wall where lamp is placed at a reasonable height, where in olden days a lamp was placed to enhance coverage of its light, well protected from unnecessary hindrances. Thus, a lamp capsuled in a glittering glass and placed in a protected niche is a symbolic display of a divinely blessed heart, brightened with the divine guidance of the Qur'an and Sharia. As such, a lamp brightens its abode and makes it livable and pleasing for its inhabitants. The divinely blessed heart assures its allegiance to Allah and earns His pleasures. The same way, the universe instilled with Allah's Noor does not dare to deviate from the divine order or the laws of nature set by Allah, the Creator, the Sustainer. Huwallahul Khaliqul Bariul Musawwir. Allah's Noor permeating in every particle of the universe makes it function under a unified command system, reminding the oneness of its Creator. So, dear friends, the glass in which the lamp is capsuled is described in the words Az-zujajatu ka'annaha kawkabun duriyun, which means the glass so glittering as if it were a star made of pearls. Not only a star, ordinary star, rather made of pearls. It symbolizes a divinely instilled heart, further blessed with divine guidance, a heart manifesting Noorun ala Noor, Noorun ala Noor. Noor of a blessed heart, wrapped with multiple layers of Noor. You know, there are multiple dimensions of Noor. If you cross one dimension, to approach the other dimension, then other dimension, unending number of dimensions. It indicates intensity of Allah's Noor blessed to His chosen heart, surging out to brighten the society around. The lamp's wick is, the piece of cloth or threads which burns. The lamp's wick is lit not with an ordinary oil, rather, it is lit with oil from a blessed olive tree. Ayat says, Yukadu min shajaratin mubarakatin zaytunatin la sharqiyatin wala gharbiyya. This olive tree is planted in the center of the garden and not in the periphery, so that it may get sun energy throughout the day. It symbolizes that the chosen heart is nourished with persistent divine guidance, so that it may grow in vitality of faith and nearness to its great Creator every moment. It may also be a clue that faith of a chosen heart inculcates in it love for the mankind and its Creator, aiming to promote a global society based on justice, equity, and peace, negating socio-cultural, racial, geographical biases and prejudices. The parable proceeds with the words, Yakadu zaytuha yuzi'u walau lam tamsashu nar, whose verbatim translation is, whose oil would almost glow, even if untouched by fire. These are the mysteries which have now been resolved by astrophysics. These we will discuss in future lectures. But here it means the man having a divinely blessed heart will dedicate his life purely to the cause of Allah and service to humanity without being corrupted by any ulterior motives or deterred by any sort of fears on the way. The verse closes with the words, Allah presents examples for the people for their guidance, urging the man to seek the truth by researching on the signs revealed in the Qur'an. Thus, we will discuss the spiritual aspects of the verse of Nur, Ayat-e-Nur, and its astrophysical relevance to quasars and gravitational lens in the next lectures. And here we conclude our lecture 291, focused mainly on its traditional interpretations. So, my dear friends, please subscribe Idea Foundation YouTube channel to watch videos of previous lectures and join us for the noble cause. Thank you for participation. Allah Hafiz.